Hello, welcome to a little lathe update. What I'm currently doing is making the change gear studs. I've made one. It's ready to go on the banjo. And I suppose I better use the banjo. Alright, so change gear is going to go on that end. That will around, isn't it? That'll go in there. It just needs skinning. I've got to file it a little bit just to fit in a bit better. It wants to be have two flats filed on it, so that's going to fit in there. I'm going to make two change gear studs. This one eventually is going to have a 1/2 inch shaft on it there, and I think I'll put an M12 thread on there for a nut to go on. I'll make that nut and knurl it, because the reason I want two is one to run when there's only two change gears on there, and the other one to run when there's the 4 change gears, which is metric cutting on this lathe. So this will be 1/2 inch, and then it'll have a sleeve over it to bring it up to 3/4 with a keyway in, which will engage both gears together. So then I've got washers to make up. Now I have got this set of change gears now. Let's put this over here. I picked up this set of change gears off eBay. It's the right diametric pitch at 16. Pressure angle's the same, 14. It's 14? Yeah, it's 14. They're a little bit on the thin side for what I wanted, but I think they'll do to start with. They are in the right tooth numbers for what I want, so they go up in increments of 5 from 20, so that is the 20 tooth, and they go up to 65, which is on there. So I'm missing the higher gears still, so 70, 80, 90, 100 and the 127 gear. So I still need to get those, but this is a help to start with. So only a little set. So this is the second pin or stud I'm making on here now, and that's out of a piece of 2-inch hex bar. I'll just get it. Alright, this is, it was like a pry bar I got off at a farm auction a few years ago. It was a local farm auction. It was just a nice heavy piece of steel. I knew there'd be a use for it somewhere, and I don't think it is just plain mild steel, bright mild steel. I think it's something a bit more, a little bit harder than ordinary mild steel. It machines lovely. I should think it's quite old, but it had a point made on one end, so it was used for something. But anyway, that's what I'm using to make it. And you might be able to see I've made some additions to the machine. I put a cover on the lead screw. That's just a piece of PVC pipe, waste pipe, that I've cut in half. It's just got a little self-tapping screw into the top half nut on there. I've put the cover on the back here. That's fixed on again with a couple of self-tapping screws into the top sliding piece of the cross slide, so that actually runs across with it now. That's fine. I'm running this and machining this at the moment with using the lead screw to travel the carriage assembly up and down, which is giving a much better finish than just using the carriage handle itself. But there is no handle on the lead screw at the moment, so I'm just using one of the gears as something better to hold than just the end of the lead screw. So that's working fine. Another little addition I've done, I've changed the position of the half nut lever. Where it was in the upward position before, I've moved that down, and I've got a little handle that fits on there, so that's nice and easy to engage and disengage now. That's better than it was. So far that's where we're at. Now this end on here, what I'm turning at the moment is this small end that fits into the banjo. So then we have an inch section, that's an inch there, I think that's 1.5 inches, and then we have the threaded section on the end. So what I'll do is I'll turn this down. I still haven't quite got this down to the final diameter yet, because I can still see a few little rust spots showing through where the hexagons were, or the flat sides were. So I've got to bring that down a little bit, just probably another 10 or 20 thou for there, just over that distance. And I'll turn this around in the chuck so we're held on the large diameter again. This smaller diameter will sit within the chuck, so then I won't have so much sticking out, and then we'll turn down the other end. So there we are. That's how we're currently going. I'm using my cheapy Chinese carbide inserts at the moment on turning tools. It's working fine. I was using this piece of tool steel, but that worked lovely. But it's got a bit of a radius on there, and I wasn't getting tight into the corners, so I stopped using that. But it works lovely. I do like using high speed steel from experience of using that piece. That seems to work really nice. Anyway, there you go. Another little one that I can fill you in on. Up here, this is just like an adjuster, and it applies tension for the belt. There's a spring behind there. And what I want to do is change that. Just for an example, what I want to do with it. This is a little toggle clamp. I think it's off one of those little scooters kiddies use, and it's got an eccentric cam on there. So I want to replicate something like that to actually put on there, so make a bigger version, so that I can release the tension easier than just undoing that screw all the time. So that'll work quite nicely. So there's another little thing I want to do with it. But so far I'm quite pleased with how things are going with the lathe. It's all working very well. I'm learning things, gaining some experience. It's all trial and error with me at the moment. I make mistakes, I learn from them and carry on. So I'll keep you posted. See you next time.